Hello everybody, Spectrus here. Today we'll be continuing What If Baba Raised Goku. Of course, this is part 5, so if you want to know what happened in the first 4 parts, the link will be in the description and comment section. But I will provide a recap of the last part. So, basically Yamcha, Krillin, Fangs, and Invisible Man went to Namek, alright? And then they fought the Ginyu Force. Invisible Man and Krillin both died, leading to Goku going Super Saiyan and killing Frieza. That's right, he's actually dead this time. He then fled to Yardrat while everyone else went back to Earth. Our wizard, Gohan, decided to try and learn healing from Dende before he left as well, and he would spend the rest of the time before his father returned to practice. So, that is going to be where our recap ends. And remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay. So, our story would pick up with Goku arriving home from Yardrat, and he would be met by all his friends. There is no Frieza or King Cold here because Frieza's dead, so Cold can't get a lead on Earth. Goku would go and spend the next few years training and spending his days naturally, but one day, he would become sick. He would then die sometime later. Despite Gohan's best efforts to heal him, also, just a reminder, Gohan's name isn't actually Gohan because Baba raised Goku, but we're still using it as a placeholder. It's the same reason why we're still calling Goku Goku. Anyway, our hero would die, and everyone would mourn his death. However, there was a new threat, the androids. They attack a city, and both the Monster Squad and the Z Fighters try to oppose them. However, this only results in the deaths of the majority of them. Vegeta would also show up, but the two androids together were too much for him to handle. Eventually, the only one who could escape was Spike, with bandages using his wraps to hold the androids back. He made it back home, informing everyone of the news. However, most of them opted to stay where they were. Upa and Bora were secluded, and going into the city would only be more of a risk. Baba was also just fine where she was, and Chi-Chi was not relenting in keeping herself and Gohan at home. Gohan, however, would know that while he may not be very strong, he has to be there to do something. Even if it's using magic and healing, he's got to try his best to help. And so, Gohan and Spike would begin their training together until Vegeta and Bulma's son, Trunks, was ready to join them many years later. Spike would teach him the Devil Might Beam along with everything he knows, and Gohan would be a strong moral compass for Trunks. Trunks would eventually achieve the Super Saiyan transformation and would decide to help Spike fight. However, this was the day that Spike the Devil Man died. Trunks saw his pitchfork on the ground and picked it up, screaming in anger. 3 years later, and he now uses that instead of the cannon sword. His mission is to go back into the past and stop Goku from getting the heart virus. So, he arrives in the past, waiting for Goku and giving him the medicine and warning him of the androids. He then spars with him, and that goes the same since both of them held back. Piccolo then relays the androids' news to everyone, telling them that they need to train hard, and the Z Fighters should train together while the Monster Squad does the same. That way, it isn't too big of a group and no one gets held back as much. They all split and 3 years pass. Now, after the 3-year training, everyone is much stronger than in canon. Like, much stronger. This means that everyone would show up to the androids, even Chaozu. Yamcha, being the leader, would organize groups to search so that no one is alone. He would be the one to find the androids and would actually stop himself from being fodderized. This would be because of his Wolf Fang fist form, now being increased due to the 3-year training. It isn't that much stronger, but it's definitely an improvement. He frees himself from Android 20's grip and unleashes a bunch of hits on him. This leads everyone else to come towards his energy. The group would then fly off, with Goku taking on 19 and succumbing to the heart virus. Chaozu would be the one to take him home, while everyone now begins to rush both androids. The weaker ones get a bit roughed up, but ultimately Piccolo, Yamcha, and Tenshinhan are very much winning this fight for them. Vegeta would then arrive, leading to him unveiling Super Saiyan and killing 19. Gero would then leave as the fight was happening, since he already fought them and knew he couldn't win. fighters chase after, but Jerome has already released 17 and 18. They kill him and release Android 16 as well. Vegeta would fight 18 but lose, and then our Z fighters would jump in. And with all of them being much stronger than in canon, along with future Trunks arriving, they would do much better than in canon. However, the androids were still stronger, so they would win overall. Everyone would then do their own thing. Vegeta and Trunks go into the time chamber. Piccolo fuses with Kami. Only this time, Piccolo would encounter Cell, but he would escape by going invisible. Piccolo learns of his backstory and plan, and later goes on to fight Android 17. He would have a massive advantage against due to his increased strength. Just as he was about to finish off the android, Cell snuck up behind and absorbed him. He then became semi-perfect and beat down Piccolo in 16. As 18 was attempting to escape, Tenshinhan decided to put all of his power into a Neo Tri-Beam. This attack would be more than enough to kill Cell, as he is much stronger than his canon self. And the original attack held Cell down and caused a minor damage. Everyone thinks that Tenshinhan has vaporized Cell. However, that's when he returned, standing above them all. He had gone invisible and thusly escaped before the attack landed. Goku then instant transmissioned in to save Piccolo and Tenshinhan before Vegeta and Trunks arrived. Vegeta beats Cell more than in canon, but it still ends up letting him absorb 18. He becomes perfect, bodies everyone, and announces the Cell Games. During this time, Goku has been training in the time chamber with Piccolo, and it leads to less games than it did with Gohan. However, it did still lead to him unlocking grade 4. He just needed the full day this time. Vegeta would then go in once again, which would make Spike want to do the same. He goes in with bandages and Trunks goes in next. And then Spike re-enters with Yamcha. Then Fangs and an Invisible Man. This leads to everyone being far stronger and more prepared for the Cell Games. Speaking of which, it would now begin. Mr. Saiyan would go first and get bodied, but next wouldn't be Goku. Instead, it would be the leader of the Z Fighters, Yamcha. He knew that as the leader, he needed to instill hope within the group. No matter how outmatched they may be, they have to fight till the end. He stepped up to the plate using his Wolfang Fist form, up to its new maximum ×5. Cell would just be toying with him though, using the multiform and only having one of them fight. Everyone saw this battle and didn't see it as Yamcha losing, but instead as a leader proving that they can still fight. He would of course end up defeated though, and would return to the mountain where he would be healed by Gohan. It would then be Goku's turn, and he is ready for it. Cell was the perfect opponent. All of them combine into one guy, and he gets to take him on. He was excited and decided to get through the warm-up fast, powering up to his full power in grade 4. This Goku was much more of a challenge for Cell, the two being close to equal, with Goku having a disadvantage. The two would eventually be beaten down with Goku having used everything he could think of. He decided to throw in the towel, offering someone else to take his place. He steps off the arena and Vegeta decides that he'll do it. He knew that he was outmatched, but a true Saiyan does not give up. He would never let someone beat him and just walk away. And of course, he was right. He was very much so outmatched, and Cell tossed him aside decently quickly. Trunks came in next to defend his father, but that wasn't much either. Piccolo got ready to step in, but a hand was placed in front of him, and it was Goku. Fully healed, he walked towards Cell asking if he really thought he had given up. He pointed his finger out to Gohan, who had healed him during all the commotion. This is perfectly in line with this version of Goku, as long time ago in part 1, we did say that he was more prone to dirty tricks. Of course, he wasn't really going to give up, and now that Cell was worn down from all their fights, it would be much easier to win. Granted, this wouldn't be a complete win for Goku. Cell would definitely still be a threat, but with Goku's power full and Cell's depleted, this means Android 18 is coming right out. That leaves Cell to go into his semi-perfect form and explode, forcing Goku to instant transmission him away. Everyone seeing this are saddened. They know that it had to be done, but to lose Goku is always going to be a hard thing to swallow. Goku and Cell then appear on King Kai's planet, where they would all die. But then, out of nowhere, a blast hits Vegeta. He fell onto the ground and Trunks grabbed him, but looking up revealed that the Cell was the one who did it. Gohan would attempt to heal while Krillin would attempt to use a senzu bean, but Cell stopped both of them. The Cell Juniors were next to come, stopping everyone in their tracks. Trunks sat over his father's corpse while Cell watched all the action. He asked what was wrong and began taunting him, but Trunks had enough. He stood up looking at Cell before screaming into the sky, which his hair switched from purple to gold, and his muscles grew and shrunk multiple times. Electricity sparks flew all around him until his eyes met Cell's once more. Future Trunks was the first Super Saiyan 2. He beat all the Cell Juniors in a few swift attacks before charging Cell. This would not be a close match at all. Even Super Perfect Cell wasn't enough. Trunks was unbeatable. He tore through all of his defenses and beat him down easily. When Cell had finally had enough, he unleashed a solar Kamehameha, but something flew through his blast. A pitchfork charged through before stabbing him in the chest. Trunks came next, the blue Kamehameha covering him as he flew towards the android. He landed on the pitchfork, jumping off of it and ending up in the air. He then fires a Devil Might Beam, killing the android. He lands on the ground, reverting back to base, and everyone surrounds him. Trunks is praised, and Cell is now gone. Afterward, all the damages would be undone with the Dragon Balls, and the androids would get their bombs removed. Goku would opt to stay in Otherworld to avoid conflict on Earth. However, he mainly just wants to train there again. Trunks then returns to the future, and everyone returned to their lives. And this is where we're going to leave part 5. We managed to cover the entire Cell arc in this episode, so hopefully you all enjoyed it. We got a lot of content to cover before the Buu Saga that will definitely make you guys happy. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next part. And for some very few people in the comment section, we really hope you enjoy this next part. We know you've been asking for it. Anyway, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Goodbye.